Promise me you'll continue existing and you'll always be my friend. Today, baby doll, baby cakes, we're going to go through some Richard Hart tweets. This is going to be a historical account because I am a personal holder of Pulse, PulseX, EHEX, and PHEX. I want to know the whole shebang about PulseChain. I want to know what the leader and the founder is thinking and what he's doing. He's gone through some trials and tribulations. He's gathered some data, and some might say he's doing a bit of a pivot with his marketing strategy. I will leave that up to you to decide. But first, we're going to have a quick look at where we are. Bitcoin is still going up. I also have my classical charts. This is the weekly chart. You notice how it's still green. We are still in the clear. But what about HEX, right? So this is a cute one for HEX. This is basically the daily time frame of this, D for daily, and you can pretty much confidently say we are not out of this neck of the woods until 1 cent. This is for EHEX. So whatever the price is, I mean, it's about, same for PHEX as well, it's about a 40 to 50% rally from here. You can see we do have fake outs in here in the bear market. Every time we proc it, so we flip green, we can fake it out pretty aggressively. We had these little green, back to red. There was one run. This was the run up into the testnet version 3, and then we dumped. All right. So, but if you really want to know how to smooth these out, instead of a daily chart, we can go up into a 3-day chart. There is still some fake outs on the 3-day chart, so that's not even still 100% confidence bringing. The true chart, if you really want to see, is a weekly chart, but of course, look how far away it is. This is all the way up at 5 cents. So something you'll just notice, every time we flip red, when we come back down, there is a touch on my golden ropes. So maybe we come back up, this will be like 2 cents, come back down. So that's about a 300% rally. So if we got about a 3x rally from here, we might just see a bit of people starting to shift their expectations, get some out, and hopefully we get to bust through. Now, of course, let's continue with Richard Hart. So to start, look what he says, this first tweet, which was done a while ago. He says, pro tip, to learn what's truly true, you must test your theories. Sometimes you can't guess your way to greatness. I did make a video focused on this, about him going into the Ponzi casino and PulseChain, for example, and how we were going around trading the P tokens. I just released a video for you as well to show you the power of what's going on and how, look at this, I am buying poop. Thank you, friends, for liking, subscribing, press the bell button, and all sharing with your friends and family. We are spreading the word, and of course, we're going to make it to the heavens ourselves. So here he is talking about, he made a reply to his own tweet thread before. He says, good data was found, adjustments made. What is he speaking about? We can come and fully flesh it out here. So he continues here. So he's going to be speaking about promotion of other coins because it's very hard. I mean, we really know, right? There's so many coins. There's limited time and capital. How do you support everything? It is a tough game. So let's continue. Here he goes. He goes, promoting Pulse, HEX, PulseX is awesome. Promoting other PRC20s is less awesome. For example, P-Link, P-Uni, P-Arve, P-Shib, P-Peppy. He goes, it's bearable if it's to people that don't already own Pulse, PulseX, HEX, and Inc., but only if the holders of them don't see it. The precise targeting of messages is easier in direct messages. I will just focus on talking about things I founded. So do you remember this message I just showed you? Good data was found, adjustments were made. Here he is. This was the prelude to him. So I've gone working backwards. I've given you the answer. This is him talking about him figuring out that there is probably not the results he was expecting, or he was just data gathering, or a bit of both. Where obviously there has been a lot of strife in the community because we have seen people consistently dump Pulse, PulseX, EHEX, PHEX, probably not PHEX, but you know, it is what it is. Moving into poop coins, people rotating stuff around, and he's realizing probably that the messaging is confusing people, and it's very tough. It is tough to tell people, buy one coin, but I'm going to go market to people that aren't you. It is very, very tough. Everybody goes to the source. It is super tough. It's a tough game. It's literally like you're the president or leader of your country. It's really pro your country, but he says, hey, you know, sometimes I go on the internet, play Call of Duty, and I say some racist stuff from time to time. You know, you can't separate them. You cannot separate them. They are one thing. So perhaps he's going to think about new ways to target the other communities, easier in direct messages. That's what he might be referring to. He might be speaking one-on-one. Interviews, other leaders, other founders. That's something we don't know yet. Only he knows what's going on in his brain. So in my previous video, friends, I have this PulseChain Ponzi casino watch list. I will leave a link in the description again. It is in the description box here in the I'm Buying Poop. And what I went through and just got all the PRC20 tokens on pulsecoinlist.com, and I just added them on here. And sometimes from time to time, I want to see big capitulations. So Richard Hart, obviously he knows this game is going to be played, but it's possible that our baby doll coins have been taking a hit. So I had a discussion with somebody today, told me that, Hex was doing worse at this equivalent time compared to Pulse, PulseX, and Hex based off PulseChain launch. It was doing worse in price, but it was not doing as bad if you give the same amount of time. This is a weekly time frame. We are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles going nowhere and down. 8 candles. That is 2 months. And this is Hex on its launch again. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at this. On the 4th week for Hex's launch, on the 5th week, it did a plus 90%, almost a plus 100% rally. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at this. By the 8th candle, we had recovered the launch damage. Of course, everybody was still down. I'm not going to beat around the bush. This flag is where everybody was down from, but it just shows you there was a turnaround. By now, we already had been turning around. This is why if you watched my videos from last month, I said, well, if we're repeating just the ghost of the past, 4 weeks down, we find the bottom and then we start going up. Unfortunately, the truth is, and you listen to me because I give you the truth, we have not been going up at all. So something has not been going to plan. Of course, you don't have Richard Hart doing the streaming, but it is what it is. You would think with crypto itself being more accessible, there would be a better result right now. We have not had anything. No one's interested. You can even see on the left-hand side, look how far the volume for PulseChain has dropped. We are below Aptos and Snow-Themed Avalanche and Z-Sync, which is just people farming an airdrop for their $20 airdrop because they don't even know how big it's going to be. That's how bad it's gotten. And a lot of people are laughing. A lot of people putting everyone down. People still capitulating. But it's not a nice capitulation. It's not, oh, I'm vomiting my 99% and now I'm leaving. It's not that. It's just slow burn, bleed into irrelevance. So obviously something has to change. Of course, PulseX, same chart, right? We're seeing everything. Everything's just dying down. Everyone's wondering how long it's going to take. Hex, everybody's saying PHEX is great. Look, I'll just be honest. For optics as well, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So this is, I'm just being honest for you friends. This is why you listen to me. Normally, Richard likes to brag. All right, he likes to brag about the performance he's made. Just to let you know, what he's doing here, this kind of shows you how dire the situation is. By the way, I'm still holding. You can do what you want. This has not affected any of my decisions whatsoever. But I'm just here to give you the truth, just to flesh it out. So I've interpreted this personally as this is how many things we've run out of positive signs. Basically, all the light in our life has gone. Look at this. He says, Hex on PulseChain has been quietly outperforming Pulse, drama-free. So one thing, if you know about Richard Hart, is good marketing. He'll always take the good spin, the positive spin, the positive. He's very good at that. And when I saw this, I was like, ugh. I was like, okay, this is the only positive thing we've got. We're literally comparing PHEX to Pulse. We're not even doing a USD chart. It's like, ugh, we're down to ratios, right? It's literally the same as, imagine all of crypto dropped 95%. Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything collapsed. And then the Ethereum guys said, hey, the ETH BTC ratio is still looking pretty good. It's 0.06. But like, who cares? Because Ethereum's at $200 and Bitcoin's down to like $3,000, right? So you didn't care about that ratio. It's like everything's got destroyed. You have nothing else left to brag about. So this is the perspective. This is how dire it's gotten. But hey, it is darkest before dawn, friends. This is when it starts getting very dark and gloomy, and then things just start turning around. Of course, now we've all seen we are just functions of Bitcoin. We are functions of Ethereum. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, they are the gatekeepers to our friendship and kindness. And now we have another example here from Ricardo Corazon himself. And please, I'd like to remind you, please keep it back straight for this one because he's going to be speaking with a bit of wordy words. So he says, you rarely see Vitalik Buterin. So Vitalik is an alien with a giant brain and he founded Ethereum. So you rarely see Vitalik promoting ERC20. So he says, hey, Vitalik founded Ethereum, but he doesn't talk about other coins. He's not saying buy Uni, buy Link, buy something else. He primarily owns Ethereum. And when people buy the other poop coins on Ethereum, they are not buying Ethereum. So why would he hurt the performance of what he owns? Even worse, what would be if people sold ETH to buy ERC20s? Selling is worse than not buying. Many people should learn from him. So perhaps this is Ricardo Corazon looking at Vitalik and saying, wait a minute, Ethereum succeeded without Vitalik saying, buy Link, buy SHIB, buy this and buy that on my chain. Vitalik didn't say any of that. He didn't promote any of their coins. The natural ecosystem flow just established itself and it was able to foster and grow. This is him, I guess, him probably realizing that promoting non-Richard Hart founded coins like Pulse, PulseX, Hex and stuff, right? Everything outside of the sphere is probably hurting, all right? So here he is even continuing. Promoting ERC20s to people that aren't using Ethereum, it's far less likely to hurt price than promoting to them who are already using Ethereum because they don't have Ethereum to sell. So effectively, all he is saying is Vitalik promoting poop coins, now that it's almost $2,000, that will hurt Ethereum holders because the poop coin lovers will sell their Ethereum at $2,000 to go buy the poop. But in the early days, when Ethereum was only $1, promoting poop coins doesn't hurt as much, right? That's effectively he's kind of saying this, but he's not giving it like a full pass, but he's saying, well, you know, before the thing is super valuable, that was when the time to promote it. The time is to promote it to do the less type of damage. So then he continues as well. He says right here, he says, so how might one promote Ethereum using your ERC20 features without risking large Ethereum bag holders dumping their Ethereum for the poop coin? And then his answer is the next part. By isolating large Ethereum holders from the marketing and targeting precisely new users only. It is quite a delicate task, and how we're going to continue for him to go in and show us. Probably one Vitalik would be the worst guy to try and do it because all of his followers are probably the most likely in the world to hold Ethereum already. What can you personally learn about targeted, precise messaging? So this is why in this game you can't tell these founders and leaders what to do. All right, you can throw an opinion here and there, but they got to where they got in life by being able to figure this stuff out. It doesn't go 100% perfect, but they have brains to figure out humans. Me and you, I can confirm I'm a human, and you can too. These people are just freaks. They're just freaks. They see stuff. We are patterns. When they move around, they don't see me and you. They don't see fluffy slippers and cups of orange juice and ice cubes. They're seeing like little targets and like three-dimensional hexagon spheres just morphing around and interdimensional beings popping in and out. These guys are just seeing the world differently. We'll never be able to compute what they're talking about. Okay, so he's realized, okay, Vitalik literally can't talk about any coin because no matter what he talks about, ETH people are going to suck away its network effect from it. So Ethereum's network effect is like this, okay? And if he talks about another poop coin, okay, maybe like, you know, maybe this part starts to go and make this bigger. And then if he talks about another poop coin, then this part starts to talk to something else, right? So you're making another network effect bigger by sucking away from your own. So here is Ricardo caught himself like realizing this and developing his marketing message and how he's going to proceed for the future. And here he is fleshing it out even more. Okay, so this is a final one to show you. Pro tip also, friendly reminder, you are my friend. If you guys spread the word where it needs being spread, then the right people find about it. But if I, the duck, spread the word, people that don't need to hear about it do. So what he's saying is, he's like, let's be specific. When Ricardo Corazon himself says, hey, Pepe guys, come and buy Pepe. Hey, P-Link. Hey, Chainlink guys. Hey, Uni guys. When he says it, he's basically saying, damn, I have loyal staked hexicans and pulse hexicans. I have all the lot here. They don't need to hear this message. So I can't talk about it. I can't be the one doing it. That's effectively what he's saying. And we saw that too. We saw all of the degenerates coming around and slapping around. eHex gets destroyed even more. All right. So he says, you guys can precisely say things where they need to be said in a way that I can't. Quack, quack. In this way, you are superior to me. I wish I could just reach people I haven't reached before sometimes. So that is him talking precisely what he wants. He just wishes it was a world where he says, well, I want to keep all of you in a bubble. If you have your Hex, your Pulse, your PulseX, okay, your Ink. Oh, he wants all of us in a bubble, and then we have our ears closed. And then he wants to sit here. Okay, here's his duck. Here's his cute little wings. He wants the megaphone, and he just wants to speak to people in another house with more money. That's it. That's effectively what he wants to do. He wants to speak away from the house. He doesn't want the people, us holding it, to hear it. This is a very delicate, sensitive thing. So what do you do? Of course, but if you want to know the answer, you already know the answer, friends. I mean, Ethereum is a freaking blue chip creation. Like, Ethereum was made and it onboarded everyone around the world. It's a self-growing ecosystem because it had the first mover advantage. That's why Ethereum had the first mover advantage for smart contracts. This is why it was able to do what it did. That's why it's an actual unicorn. It's an actual blue chip. It's because it had the first one to do it. Everyone comes on board. Vitalik remains independent, neutral, and he sits on the fence, and then everybody comes and develops. But wink, wink, Vitalik's not really independent, neutral. Like, it is a very political process to do the EIPs, and he makes articles from time to time, and people do find out what he really thinks to copy him. It's just that he has such a loyal base that they actually like attribute their new changes to respect him and what he believes is the future. Because look at him, he's an alien, he's a freak. He knows he's got 400 IQ. All right, so why wouldn't you? So now I'm going to bring it back here to show you, remember what we went through this first. So to learn what truly is true, you must test your theories, right? So we've gone through a lot of this process. We've put up a lot of these yield farms, throwing these yield farms in everyone's faces. You know, this, like, you got Uni and Link and Pepe. So he's realizing, obviously, he's looking at data. He's seeing, he's like, crap. He believes that what he's seeing is not probably optimal. He wanted outside of people to come in only, but what he's seeing is he's rotating the pie. He's not making the pie bigger. He's noticed that already. So he is effectively, you know, friends, you do have a friend out here with a straight posture who has made so many videos to talk to you about the closed system Ponzi's, right? The closed circle Ponzi's and how people are rotating. I've made so many videos about it. But this is what's actually been happening. We've seen this happen now. It's outside of our control, but it's the exact same thing. So I'll call it out. Yes, it's the exact same thing. That's what's been going on as what I spoke about. And when it comes to looking at this, you can already see, friends. You can see that we have Pulse, right? We have PulseX, we have eHex, we have pHex, of course, right? And of course, many people, almost everybody told me, no, there's synergy between them. Because when you bring them all together, they add up to more than their individual parts. Did we see that? No. Big fat no. And you don't even have to like guess here. The numbers say everything themselves. If you compute the total market cap, you know, this is the actual sad part, right? Hex at 12 cents. You know, Hex here? Hex by itself before PulseChain launch was worth more than if you have Pulse, PulseX, eHex, and pHex today. This is the truth. I'm not making this up. I've made videos on this. I did the whole blueprint. I told you exactly all the numbers. Hex at 12 cents by itself was literally worth more today than Pulse, PulseX, eHex, and pHex if you have all of them. All of their market caps combined, you do all the adjustments, that's what you figure it out. So effectively, it was a closed circle Ponzi. So we need a new strategy. So yes, it is what it is. So we thought, so this was our circle. We thought we were making the pie bigger. We have not made the pie bigger. Unfortunately, it's just the truth. We haven't made the pie bigger. Instead, what we did was, You see these hex, this was a hex circle, right? This is all hex. Instead, what we did was we destroyed hex, literally destroyed the value out of them, and then it went to PulseX. So that's what happened. So hex got smaller by a long shot, right? PLS wins the most. PulseX wins off hex, but still lost ultimately from the sack. So that's effectively what happened. So who got the shortest end of the stick? Who got destroyed? Hexagons got destroyed. Stakers got destroyed. All of them got destroyed. And yes, you have to use the word. The value went away from them. Now, you have to be careful, right? Put the water pistol down. I'm not saying it's the year 2025, and I'm not saying it's the year 2027. I'm not saying it's a 10-year stake and everything went to zero. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, today, the market is saying, it's not me. The market has said hexagons got destroyed and it was a bad move for hexagons. That's not me talking. This is the market. The market has said this. The market gave value to Pulse, PLS. And if you're wondering how we can even figure that out, Pulse is still around the day one sacrifice price. It is still around that. When this was done, Hex was between 8 to 14 cents. Okay? Now, PulseX is down 70% below the sacrifice price. Okay? But remember, Hex, combined Hex, what we're going to do is the combined Hex, friends, is 2.1 cents. So even if you do 2.1 divided by 10 cents, right? So you can even do, 10 cents for the average sacrifice. It's down 80%. So that's what effectively happened. Hexagons lost 80% of their value, and then that market cap went to another pie, and it went to Pulse and a bit sprinkled into PulseX. That is what the market has said. I just got to repeat again for the third time. This is not me speaking. This is the market. The market has decided this. The market has said, you have not added any value yet. Now, of course, this is very delicate. A lot of egos can be bruised, but hey, I'm not the one selling. I'm still holding in the system, but I'm just telling you, I'm communicating to you what the prices say right now. And so where does that leave us? Well, I'd just like to remind you again, none of the fundamental outlooks have changed for me. I did not walk into this expecting 100% smoothness. I know just because these people, founders and leaders, just because they're super smart, does not mean they are 100% correct every single day. What separates them from us, right? What makes them great, and me and you just little peanut brains, is when they come across obstacles, they are super effective at figuring out how to go around the obstacle. Okay, me and you, we go straight into the wall and then we crash. What they do, they go into the wall and then suddenly they find out how to jump over the wall, they continue. That's what makes them great. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, of course, Richard Hart, all these people, all these smart people, Vitalik themselves, when they come across a roadblock, they know what to do. That's what you're actually betting on. So I'm here to tell you, friends, okay, I've conveyed to you this information. This is not a smooth sailing ride, and I'm going to end it with the Bitcoin chart. Remember, just how we started. Bitcoin's still bullish. We flipped green in January this year. We're still continuing up. I don't know where it ends. Maybe Bitcoin, BlackRock spot ETF's going to do some scamming upwards. Maybe something's going to happen. More people are going to come in. I am still taking the punt that something's going to get figured out. When you live this day to day, the stress levels are high because you don't know what is going to happen next. But I'll just tell you right now, the game is always to hold to December 2025 as long as it takes. That's what I'm personally doing. So until then, if I were you, I would keep taking advantage of the yield farms, right? We're still in here. Nothing has changed. I'm Pulse, PulseX, right? PHEX, and of course, even EHEX has been destroyed. Everything's been destroyed. At the end of the day, this is just the volatility that we have to pay if we want to make it to the end. Because right now, nobody's a believer, and we're punting that one day in the future that's going to change and that we do create a lot of believers. Tell mom and dad we're still going to make it, and ducks are actually cool. Like, subscribe, press the bell button, and all. I'm going to catch you in the next one.